Have you ever bought furniture that looked solid and felt sturdy, only to realize months later that it's already chipping, swelling, or wobbling? Then you started wondering why it feels like you paid more than you thought. If you've ever owned particleboard furniture, laminate dresses, or composite wood pieces that promise the same look as solid wood, you're not alone. For most Americans, furniture isn't just decor. It's where we store clothes we wear every week, books we use every year, family photos we keep forever, and it's a big-ticket item we expect to last through moving, kids, spills, and daily life. So when artificial wood furniture starts failing early, the disappointment isn't just aesthetic, it becomes a real cost. And in this video, I'm going to break down the hidden costs of choosing artificial wood furniture over solid wood furniture, in plain terms, with the kind of practical logic you can actually use when you're standing in a store or scrolling online at 11 p.m. ready to just buy something. Let's start with the easiest misconception. Artificial wood furniture isn't fake wood, in the sense that it's made of nothing. It's usually made from wood fibers, chips, or layers compressed together, then coated with laminate, veneer, or a decorative surface. That means it can look beautiful in a showroom, and even look decent in your living room for a while. But here's the first hook: the real problem isn't what it looks like today. The real problem is what happens after real life touches it. Heat, moisture, scratches, steam from cleaning, the weight of a mattress, the friction of sliding things, and the big one, repeated moves and repeated stress on joints. Solid wood furniture is built to survive those forces over time. Many artificial wood furniture pieces are built to look good at the moment of purchase and win the price per square foot game. Now, let's talk about the first hidden cost: replacement. With solid wood, you're often buying once and keeping. With artificial wood, you're often buying twice or more. And people don't always realize this because the failure is gradual. You don't always wake up to a broken dresser. Instead, you notice tiny changes. The drawer stops gliding smoothly. The door doesn't align the same way. The edges begin to chip after a bump. A corner swells after a spill that seemed minor. Then one day you're trying to open a drawer and it catches. And you realize the structure under the finish is degrading. At that point, you're not just replacing a drawer, you're replacing the whole piece. Because once the core is damaged, it usually can't be restored like solid wood can. That's the cost you don't see when a salesperson tells you it's just as durable. Next hidden cost: repairability. Solid wood can be sanded, refinished, patched, and repaired. If a table scratches, you can sometimes fix it with refinishing. If a leg loosens, it can often be tightened or repaired with proper joinery. Even if you dent it, solid wood can be restored because the material itself is repairable. Artificial wood furniture is often less repairable because the decorative layer can be thin, and the core may be compressed particleboard or fiberboard. Once that core is damaged, the damage spreads. You can't refinish your way out of swollen edges or delamination. And the truth is, most consumers don't want to become furniture repair professionals. So when artificial wood fails, the practical outcome is replacement, not repair. And yes, replacement has a financial cost, but it also has a time cost and a convenience cost. Every time you have to buy furniture again, you lose time researching, comparing brands, verifying warranties, waiting for deliveries, hauling old items away, and reassembling or installing. If you've ever lived through moving apartments, you know how expensive time and hassle can be. A cheaper furniture purchase can become expensive when it costs you hours and weeks of disruption. Solid wood furniture reduces those cycles because it's designed for longevity rather than churn. Let me hit you with a more uncomfortable truth. Artificial wood furniture often hides its weak points until it's too late. The visible surface might look like real wood grain because it's covered with laminate or veneer, but the strength lives underneath. And underneath, you may have particleboard, MDF, or composite materials that don't behave like real wood. When those materials get wet or repeatedly exposed to humidity, they can swell, soften, or lose integrity. Solid wood may also react to moisture, but it tends to survive cleaning and normal household humidity far better, especially if the piece is sealed and maintained. Many composite pieces, however, can start breaking down even from everyday household scenarios. Steam from a cleaner, A mug left too close to a hot surface, a bathroom humidity environment, or condensation near a window. The point isn't to be paranoid. The point is that ordinary life is exactly what furniture is supposed to handle. Solid wood is better at handling ordinary life. Now let's talk about the third hidden cost: resale value. If you've ever sold a used sofa, you know the market doesn't always care how nice something looks. But with furniture, buyers often look for material quality. Solid wood furniture, especially pieces that are well built, can hold value much better. Even if it's not perfect, buyers understand it can be refinished and restored. Artificial wood furniture tends to lose value faster, because the buyer knows the core is compressed and the lifespan may be limited. That means when you eventually upgrade, downsize, or relocate, solid wood is more likely to retain value or at least be easier to sell. Artificial wood pieces often end up in donation lines or curbside piles, because no one wants to pay much for something that might fail again quickly. Here's another angle that's easy to ignore when you're in shopping mode: long-term cost per year. If you buy a dresser today for a low price, but it lasts 5 to 7 years before it starts failing, while a solid wood dresser lasts 20 years, then the real cost isn't the purchase price. It's the amortized cost over time, what you're paying per year of ownership. Most people don't calculate that when they're excited about a discount. But if you run the simple math, the cheap dresser can become more expensive because you're paying that cheap price repeatedly. And the worst part, you don't just pay in dollars. You pay in stress. Let's make this practical. Imagine 2 options. One is an artificial wood furniture piece that costs less upfront and looks great. The other is a solid wood piece that costs more upfront. The question isn't which one looks better today. The question is how often you'll have to replace it, and how much you'll tolerate the inconvenience in between. If artificial wood fails early, you'll be forced into another purchase sooner, often when you're already busy, already spending, or already emotionally worn down from living life. Solid wood gives you more stability. It's not just material, it's risk reduction. And in investing terms, reducing risk is part of building wealth. The same thinking applies here. When you buy durable furniture, you're investing in a lower cost life cycle. Now let's address the objections, because you'll hear them. But artificial wood is cheaper. Yes, and that's exactly why it's tempting. But cheap upfront is not the same as cheap overall. Some people also say, it's fine for the price. That might be true if you're truly planning to keep it for a short period. Maybe you're furnishing a temporary apartment, you're staging a place for sale, or you're moving within a year or 2. If that's your situation, artificial wood can make sense. The hidden cost shows up when you treat it like a long-term investment. The biggest mistake is expecting a short-life product to behave like a long-life product. Another objection: lots of furniture is made with composites now. That's true. The question is not whether composites exist. The question is what kind of composite, how it's built, how the piece is sealed, and what the manufacturer is promising in terms of durability. Some artificial wood furniture is better engineered than others, and some solid wood is low quality too. You still need to shop intelligently. But as a general rule, if you're comparing similar styles and paying attention to longevity, solid wood tends to win. It's not magic. It's biology and physics. Real wood has structural integrity across time, while composite cores can degrade when stressed and exposed to moisture and wear. Now let's go deeper into a hidden cost people don't talk about: cleaning and maintenance behavior. Solid wood can often handle normal cleaning with the right products and practices, and scratches can sometimes be sanded or blended. Artificial wood furniture may have a decorative surface that chips at the edges, or delaminates if water sits on it. That means you might need to be more careful cleaning wipe immediately. Avoid harsh solvents, avoid steam, avoid certain detergents. If you don't adjust your habits, the piece deteriorates faster. If you do adjust your habits, you lose time and energy. Either way, the furniture becomes a management task. That's a cost that doesn't show up on the receipt. Another hidden cost: how it handles impact. Solid wood can often take knocks without catastrophic damage. Artificial wood can chip or break around corners and edges because the core isn't as resilient. Think about your daily life, moving things around, bumping a chair with your hip. dropping a package on a table, children playing, pets jumping, or simply life being unpredictable. Edges are especially vulnerable. And once edges chip, the protective layer fails and moisture can get into places it shouldn't. That's when the deterioration accelerates. So the early minor damage becomes the gateway to later failure. Now let's talk about the feels sturdy problem. A lot of artificial wood furniture feels sturdy when it's new. It might even be heavy, which makes you assume it's strong. But weight isn't the same as long-term structural integrity. Solid wood pieces often feel solid in a different way because of how they're constructed: joinery, board density, and internal stability. Artificial wood pieces can be assembled with screws and staples into a core that may not perform the same under repeated stress. Over time, joints can loosen, edges can crumble, and drawers can misalign. That's when you experience the real frustration. The furniture stops functioning smoothly, not just looks worse. Let's connect all these hidden costs into one simple lens. Durability is a form of freedom. When your furniture lasts, you're not forced to shop again under pressure. You're not forced to replace because something fails right when your schedule is already overloaded. You're not forced to spend more money because the cheap option demanded a quick exit. Solid wood furniture reduces financial friction and reduces emotional friction. And that's why it can be a smarter decision, even when the price is higher up front. It's like paying a bit more for reliability in any system. Cars, appliances, insurance decisions, and yes, furniture. So, what should you do if you're considering a purchase right now? First, decide what timeline you're buying for. If you truly need furniture for a year or two, like a temporary apartment, a staging project, or a transitional move, artificial wood may be acceptable. But if you want the piece to last, expect that you're either paying more now for solid wood, or paying more later for replacements. Second, look for signs of construction quality. Solid wood furniture typically uses real wood throughout, or uses solid wood in key structural areas. Composite pieces often rely on veneer or laminate over a composite core. Third, think about where the furniture will live. Bathrooms, kitchens, and humid environments increase the risk to composite cores. Fourth, consider your cleaning habits. If you love heavy steam cleaning, you might want to reconsider artificial wood surfaces. And fifth, buy fewer pieces, but buy better pieces when you can. This is a principle many investing-minded creators emphasize. Quality compounds. With furniture, quality compounds and saved replacement purchases. Now, I want to bring it back to the title. What exactly is the hidden cost? It's not just money. It's the total cost of ownership across replacement timing, repair feasibility, resale value, maintenance effort, and the daily annoyance of furniture that stops functioning smoothly. Artificial wood furniture can be a bargain, but only when you treat it as a short-term solution. When you treat it as long-term furniture, the hidden costs start stacking quickly. And the stack is what hurts. Multiple replacements, extra deliveries, extra stress, and wasted money. To end strong, here's the call to action. Before you buy your next dresser, desk, or cabinet, pause and ask one question. How much does this cost me per year of use? If the answer is unclear, you're not making a financial decision. You're making a moment decision. Choose intentionally. If longevity matters, consider solid wood. If you're in a short-term situation, artificial wood can still work, but make peace with the timeline and plan for the life cycle. And if you want help turning more everyday purchases into smarter, longer-term decisions, join this channel. Like the investing mindset channels that teach you to think beyond the sticker price, we're going to keep breaking down hidden costs, better choices, and practical steps you can apply to your life. Subscribe now, and tell me in the comments what furniture you own that's made of artificial wood, and what went wrong, or what surprised you. In the next video, we'll talk about how to shop smarter before the failure happens.